Heartbeats Ablaze, the Idol Banner. The banner that caught me so off guard when I watched the trailer for the first time. You can clearly see me freaking out on camera. That gave me a whiplash. I'm shaking. Listen, I have never had an idol phase. I never had a K-pop phase. I generally don't listen to the type of music that's being played during the kindled scenes, but surprisingly, I liked all of them. Except for one. Guys, I know I missed the previous multi-banner, which was the beach banner. I did not make a video on it because when that whole banner was running, I was hyperfixating on proto fields, okay? But I did not regret my actions. I had so much fun making that video. But from now on, I will try not to miss a multi-banner because I love multi-banners. Infold seems to always do it right, and they're just constantly improving every multi-banner. From Catch-22 to the spring banner to the wedding one, they never miss. The whole vibe of this multi-banner is so good. I am genuinely happy we are getting a fun multi-banner back to back. The beach banner was already such a treat, and now this one just keeps that energy going. The myths and the main story can get really angsty and intense, so fun multi-banners like this are such a good way to shake off the angst a little bit. I love that we're getting this moving chibi animation of the MC and the love interest driving. This shit is so cute. I love the minigame and the music that's playing in the minigame. I love this banner. If you're watching this in the future and you missed it, I am genuinely sorry that you did not get to experience the hype in real time, but I hope you can at least experience it vicariously through this video. So the main narrative holding this whole banner together is the polar night. Lincoln plunges into 2 weeks of total darkness, and each love interest gets their own little adventure with MC during that time, and that becomes the backbone of all of the cards. Honestly, I think the whole polar night thing was just an excuse for Infold to make our boys dance, but hey, I'm not complaining. I never thought I'd see a banner like this, but I'm into it. So before I start, because I will be talking about lore, here's the usual disclaimer. I'm not here to tell you how to think or how to interpret the story. We're all looking at the same source material, and I'm just sharing my perspective and how I understand it. So some of the cards are super lore heavy and some are more character focused, but honestly, they're all good. I enjoyed every single one for different reasons, and in this video I'm going to talk about each one. If there's lore, obviously I'm going to focus more on the lore, and as usual, I always start with Xavier. Okay, if I have to describe Xavier's card in a few words, this card is a true reflection on Xavier's character. Cozy and freaky. Compared to the others, his card is on the shorter end. It's barely 30 minutes, and even though there wasn't a lot of lore, unlike the previous beach banner where his card has a lot of lore, I think this card is one of the most enjoyable and relaxing ones to watch because of how cozy it is. This card, to me, is extremely relaxing and comfy, at least until we get to the the kindled scene. So the story starts with MC and Xavier at the end of their Polar Night Hunter mission. Instead of joining the support team with the other hunters, they decide to go back to Lincoln on their own. But because of the magnetic interference from the Polar Night, their GPS glitches the fuck out, and suddenly these two who are just trying to go home are now lost. But it kind of works out in their favor because they ended up having a cute road trip together, enjoying what's left of the Polar Night. Well, technically it kind of worked out in Xavier's favor because the whole reason why they didn't join the support team and decided to go back to Lincoln separately was because he wanted to go on a trip with MC. So throughout this card, along their little trip, we get to see Xavier open up to MC and talk about his past. At first, he's reluctant, but with a little peer pressure from MC, he gives in, and stories just start spilling out. I don't know if this is just me, but there is something so incredibly cozy about this card, especially when he talks about his past. Maybe it's the sleep music that plays in the background, and maybe it's the way his voice softens, but the whole vibe of the card is just so warm and comforting. It's the kind of moment where I feel like I could just sit there and listen to him talk forever and just fall asleep because it's so comforting. I love seeing how natural and how much more comfortable Xavier is becoming with MC card after card. In the previous beach banner, the big thing he shared was heavy lore, how the backtrackers split up, what happened between them, and all that history. But here, he shifts away from the high-stakes heavy stuff and starts sharing the small things. What he did at the Astria Night Academy, how he wandered the cosmos, how his friends used to use flowers to do fortune telling, you know, the mundane stuff. It's not a big lore drop, but these little pieces feel more intimate. They're the kind of stories you don't just tell anyone. They're the ones you talk about when you feel safe, when you feel seen. And that's what's so nice about this card. You can feel him lowering his guard. He's not dumping trauma, he's not giving exposition, he's just remembering, laughing a little, telling stories he probably has not said out loud in years. Of course, he's not sharing everything. He's still Xavier. He's always gonna keep some things close to his chest, but he's offering these small, real moments. And that's what makes the whole card feel so nice. And there's a big theme of vulnerability in this card, not just him opening up about his past, but him messing up in front of MC. He's not the leader here, not the one who has to take on the responsibility of getting everything right. He's just a man on a trip with someone he cares about, and things don't go perfectly. The stargazing date is too cold, he did not book accommodation, they missed the entire Polar Night Festival, and for someone like Xavier, someone born as the crown prince of Philos, someone who has always been the guy everyone relies on. Hearing MC go, hey man, it's okay. Things don't have to go perfectly. You can chill, it's a vacation, you can relax. That probably meant a lot to him because he's not used to that. And I'm so happy she said that because he needs to hear that more often. He needs someone who actually gives him the space to not lead, not fix, and just exist. Right. Now, I want to talk about the kindled scene. I really liked Xavier's song in this card. It's super catchy, but the choreo, especially when he was dancing with MC, absolutely unhinged. What the fuck was this? I legit screamed when I saw it the first time. And their kissing scene is just as freaky because what do you mean MC did this? I was not prepared. Cozy vibes out the door. No more cozy, it's just freaky at this point. Also, I just want to say the English VA deserves a race. The kissing sounds, the breathing, oh my god, the breathing. So I watched the whole kissing scene in Chinese as well, and honestly, the English version hit way harder. Xavier's voice actor matched the intensity of the animation so perfectly. It literally sounded like they were both in heat. Phenomenal. Phenomenal job. Fan-fucking-tastic. Give this man a raise right now. And the ending, when they're in the hot air balloon, wraps it up so nicely. After all the freakiness, the card ends with this genuinely intimate moment between MC and Xavier, and he drops one of the sweetest lines I've ever heard from him.
From the universe's point of view, we're not even a speck of dust. But right now, you fill up my entire sky.
Overall, this card was so good. Like I said, it's not super narrative heavy, it's not lore heavy. It's a feel-good, comfy card with freaky moments sprinkled in, and I enjoyed it a lot. Alright, up next is Zayne. So Zayne's card is probably the one that gives off the most slice of life vibe out of all the cards. It's lighthearted, it's cozy, and honestly, really refreshing. So the story starts with MC and Zayne on a camping trip, on their way to see his favorite band at a music party in River Isle. The whole reason they're camping in the first place is because lately Zayne's been interested in trying out recreational activities. Zayne is opening himself up to new experiences and letting himself loosen up. And one of the biggest things about this card is how it shows sides of Zayne we've never seen before. Not the perfect, meticulous, or genius side of him. This time, it focuses on the quieter, more grounded parts of him. The little quirks, the way he reacts, the way he chooses, the way he cares, all the things that make him feel real, not like some perfect, untouchable, flawless genius. In this card, we get to learn that Zayne actually loves metal and electronic music. Honestly, Zayne, same. Hell yeah. And I'm not surprised. I can totally see him liking that. I can totally just picture him listening to industrial and metal music like Rammstein or KMFDM before surgery just to get himself in that flow state. I don't know why that mental image is so hilarious to me. Anyways, getting sidetracked. So, music is a big deal to Zayne. It's his way of self-soothing when he's anxious or restless, and it ends up being a core part of this card's story. Through music, we get insight into both Zayne's inner world and the world around him, like the state of Lincoln during the Chrono Rift catastrophe. The particular song Zayne wants to hear live was written during the catastrophe about 10 years ago, and the band was not famous back then, just a few friends making music in the ruins of the city. They witnessed the collapse firsthand and turned all that pain into something that gave people hope. It became a kind of anthem for survival. They were just ordinary people, but society turned them into a symbol of renewal. And I don't know, that small detail just made me really happy because it adds so much life to the world building. Like, you feel that this world kept moving even after all that destruction. People were still creating, still feeling, still finding ways to bring each other light. This song left a deep imprint on Zayne. On their way to River Isle to watch the performance, he shares how it first reached him. He first heard it in a crowded hospital after the catastrophe, and at 13, it became the only thing that let him sleep when the sounds of nature disappeared and the night turned unnaturally quiet. Since then, he reaches for it in every moment when things get overwhelming, to calm himself down, and also a woman who is in labor during disaster relief, to hold himself together after the experiment that would later become the tool for the rebirth cocoon, and now to soothe a cat that has just given birth. The same melody each time brings him and others back to themselves. And there's one line that Zayne said that I want to highlight.
I used to think emotions could interfere with making the correct decisions and leave you vulnerable. But I realized that not everything in life needs to be rational and certain. There must be moments of irrational judgment and people who can be your weakness. That's what makes you truly alive.
So after the recent release of World Underneath 21, where we get to see his childhood from his parents' perspective, how he struggled with emotions, preference, and even the concept of beauty, this line hits even harder. So even though in that world underneath we do see him slowly learning to live, like appreciating the little things, like understanding beauty for the first time, this card feels like the writer's way of showing how far he's come since then. When Zayne recalls those moments, the experiment, the music, the choice he made without logic, it's like he's looking back at the exact point where his mindset started to shift. He was beginning to outgrow that old belief that everything needed to be rational and certain, learning bit by bit that it's okay to make choices without absolute reason. He's not rejecting logic, he's just realizing that being human means allowing space for uncertainty, for the mistakes, for the emotions, the leaps of faith that can't be measured or proven. Okay, let's talk about his dance scene. Guys, I have to be honest, I'm not fucking with the fit. I hate it. If you love it, that's fine. But personally, I just feel like they could have designed it better to suit him. I get that the whole point is to have him wear something outside his usual style, but this one feels more like a mishmash of random ideas than a cohesive design. Again, if you love it, that's okay. This is just my personal take. Now, what I do love is his choreo with MC and his song. This track slaps. Out of everyone's, this is hands down my favorite track. And the whole backstage, quote-unquote, spicy scene, Zayne's felt a lot gentler compared to the other love interests. It's still intimate and spicy, but there's a calmness to it. Zayne is usually very intense in his spicy scenes, but here he feels softer, more relaxed. This is just my observation, but I think it's because he's been in vacation mode the entire time. Forgetting his phone, letting himself unwind, wearing clothes that are so far outside his comfort zone. You get the vibe. He's not pent up or tightly coiled like he usually is. He's not holding himself back or wrestling with his own tension. Don't get me wrong, there's still heat. I mean, dude, look at this. But for the true gooners out there who were expecting another full-blown, back-breaking Zayne moment, I get it if you're disappointed. It's definitely less intense, but personally, I don't mind it. It fits the mood of the whole card. And the story wraps up with them dealing with a drug dealer and missing the actual performance, and this is where we see another side of Zayne. Instead of being annoyed or frustrated about missing the band he literally loves so much, he chooses to help strangers. hand over the culprit to the police and still stay calm about it. He doesn't regret it for a second. It's that I can't turn a blind eye to people who need help, and I will absolutely fuck people up if necessary side of Zayne that really shines through here. And honestly, that's what makes the ending so sweet. Even though they didn't get to hear the band live, they still share this quiet moment together, under the fireworks and listening from afar. Overall, this card is so nice. It's not super intense, it's not lore heavy, but full of these small grounded details that make Zayne, as a character, feel real. It's cozy, it's reflective, and surprisingly emotional in such a grounded way. Alright, next is Rafayel. Oh my god. This card, I love this card. I am absolutely heartbroken that I don't have this card, but what can you do? I can only afford to pull for Sylus' card because I want to save for his third myth. But Rafayel's card was so good. If I had to describe this card's vibe, it would be undercover murder mission, but make it romantic. It's got that contrast between beauty and brutality that is the core, the duality of Rafayel. How he treats killing and art with the same precision, the same intensity. The story opens with MC and Rafayel shopping. They're preparing for their polar night vacation when they find out information about Rafayel's unreleased work has mysteriously shown up on the dark web. Someone is leaking info about it and soliciting buyers. And that someone turns out to be Rafayel himself. He is stealing his own painting as bait. He's intentionally spreading rumors about the artwork to lure out the underground market, the ones trafficking things that should never be sold, including Lemurians. And as we all know, every time humans fuck with his people, he becomes the most terrifying version of himself. Dude, I swear, he has the most creative ways to kill his enemies. We are talking about the man who murdered someone with a painting, who poisoned his enemy with wine because he dared to kill his teacher. He is elegance, but he is vengeance. Do not let the sass fool you. He is unhinged in the most calculated way. And that sets the tone for the whole card. An undercover mission on an artificial island full of scummy, rich people doing disgusting, illegal shit, with MC disguised as a stage designer and Rafayel as her bodyguard. And this is where they spend their entire 2-week polar night vacation. They slip into the roles perfectly, feeding information to the dancers who are actually messengers and deal facilitators, all to get the attention of Arlen, their target. And it works almost instantly, because just mentioning Rafayel's art is enough to make the whole island go feral, because he's like a commodity here. And days pass like this, no rest, and you can see Rafayel starting to feel guilty, because MC's entire vacation has turned into a murder mission, and he hasn't even told her half the details on why he's doing this. So he tries to make it up to her by creating a moment, something memorable, which leads us into the dancing scene. I think the person who made the choreography for Rafayel and made the music did such a great job because it suits Rafayel so much, and he looks so natural dancing on stage, maybe because he's always had this K-pop look to him. And the stairwell scene, oh my gosh, I love it so much. The slow walk, the teasing. I think MC has a thing for his boobs. She likes to do this with him, and I don't blame her, cause same girl. And I feel like Rafayel always gets the subtle but extremely hot, spicy scenes. Not like the super in-your-face, leg-spreading Xavier spicy, but tasteful spicy. You know what I mean? Remember the Misty invasion kiss? The spit? Yeah, that was phenomenal. And now this? Whoever directed this, thank you so much. I love you. That was so hot. I absolutely loved that Infold actually showed us the after scene, and this is where we finally see Rafayel being vulnerable in this card.
We've been inseparable these past few days, but it feels like we haven't really been together, all because I have too many things on my mind. It feels different now. Not being able to share things with you, it's like something's missing. No, it's more like a lot is missing.
You know what this is? This is post-nut clarity. But in all seriousness, you can really see Rafayel's shift here. Early on, he's in full mission mode. He's careful, controlled, he doesn't want MC to know too much. When he said the less you know, the safer you'll be, that sums up how he sees love. He thinks protecting her means keeping her away from the ugly parts of his world. But in the after scene, it flips. His walls are down and suddenly he's admitting that distance isn't safety, it's loneliness. He's realizing that keeping her out doesn't protect her, it just shuts her out from him. I still think it's post-nut clarity. But anyways, they continue to make their memories of what's left of their polar night by exploring the quieter parts of the island. And there, MC learned about the gleam drops, which is the tiny bioluminescent seashells that Lemurian children used to drop while swimming, so they could follow the trail back home if they ever got lost. And this ends up being important later on, because when Rafayel's target finally shows up, the place he secretly tells MC to go, the spot where they left the gleam drops, is where she finds Vaughn, a Lemurian child Rafayel's been trying to save. It's kind of beautiful, actually. The same glowing trail that once guided the lost Lemurian children home ends up helping another one escape. And by the end, these gleam drops is not about seashells anymore, it becomes a metaphor.
I left them at this very moment, in every moment I've spent with you.
To me, it feels like he's talking about memories. Like every moment with MC becomes something he returns to. It's like he's leaving reminders for himself, because if you look at the way his story is written across his cards, there's always this implication that he's right on the brink of losing himself in that hatred and vengeance towards humans. We've seen it in this 4-star card, in the way his expression changes once he took his revenge, and you can tell he's one step away from going too far. And these memories with MC, they're what pull him back, because MC is the one who grounds him. She's his anchor. Up next, we got Sylus. So Sylus's card as a whole is obviously my favorite out of everyone's, because if it's not already obvious, he is my main and I am biased. But preferences aside, we are actually eating so well with this card because the amount of lore and backstory and foreshadowing they give us for him in this card is insane. The story starts in the N109 zone. MC is in the middle of a mission, getting chased by some random thugs for apparently just being in the N109 zone. And of course, this all happens right at the beginning of the polar night. 2 weeks of magnetic interference, pitch darkness, and malfunctioning communications. Her comms are fried. Backup is not coming, and everything that could go wrong does. Obviously, Sylus came to the rescue, and obviously, he doesn't rescue her the normal way. He doesn't just show up and fight them off. That would be too easy. Instead, he does the most Sylus thing ever. He turns the situation into a lesson. He teaches her how to chase off the thugs, how to use darkness as a tool. And the devs absolutely knew what they were doing when they made him speak through the tunnel speakers like that. His voice sounds extra delicious.
Oh, your good taste never fails to impress me.
The reverb, the echo, I'm obsessed. I love it. And the opening of this card is so quintessentially Sylus. That mix of menace and care, teasing but calculated, is the perfect blend of teacher, predator, and protector. He's testing her awareness and forcing her to rely on instinct over sight, but at the same time, he's her safety net. So similar to the other cards, MC gets a 2-week vacation during the polar night, but instead of relaxing, she decides she wants to see the places Sylus has been. She wants to get to know him better. And of course, he indulges her. This card gives us a real first-hand look at Sylus's world, his position as the leader of Anakinus, how he operates in the shadows, the kind of chaos he moved through. Those chases at the beginning of the card, those were normal for him when he first started climbing the ranks in the N109 zone. And we only ever got surface level glimpses of this in World Underneath 14 and in the Death and Rebirth timelock chapters. But those were just surface level information. This card finally expands that narrative from his POV. And this time, we're not hearing rumors or secondhand descriptions. We are seeing the N109 zone through Sylus's eyes. The allies he made, the enemies he outmaneuvered, and the routes he carved into the darkness over the 14 years he's been in the main timeline. So for almost the full 2 weeks they spent on the road, they're being chased. Constantly. Everywhere they go, someone is tracking them, someone is lurking, and someone's trying to get a shot at Sylus. And he uses every single moment as a real-time lesson. He shows her what it means to survive in his world, how he has Connections literally everywhere, even far from Anakainis' base. How he feeds his enemies on purpose, lets them arm themselves because he already knows exactly how to break them. Sylus is basically teaching MC Survival 101, and this is a major thread in their dynamic. Survival, adaptation, learning each other's worlds. Those themes are always present when it comes to Sylus and MC. And honestly, I fully believe we're gonna see those exact themes show up again in his third myth. But another big one is trust, the kind you only give when you understand someone deeply. Sylus trusts her enough to bring her into his world of shadows, his methods, and she trusts him enough to follow him into places where light doesn't exist. Sylus and MC, they have a dynamic I actually can't label cleanly because it's too specific for them. He leads her through danger without holding her hand. He gives her the tools and he pushes her just enough to prove to herself that she can do it. It's like she has to prove her own strength. It's a test, a flirtation, and a bond all at once. And I just love this dynamic so much. I mean, yeah, they already have the big surface level tropes like enemies to lovers, criminal and cop, forbidden love, or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. Those are fun. But this right here, this mentor, challenger, intimate power tension, that's their thing and it fits them perfectly. This whole mentor and student vibe that they have going on has always been present since like the beginning. But I think since Catch-22, it's becoming more and more obvious. Even though Catch-22 is technically an alternate universe, the way it mirrors the main timeline is a little bit too on the nose. And it really makes me think that in Sylus' original timeline, the one mentioned in Death and Rebirth, the Interstellar Arena timeline, I think that he's also MC's mentor in that timeline. Like, he's basically the one who taught her how to survive, how to fight, how to navigate in the dark. And I'm telling you now, we are absolutely seeing this dynamic again in his third myth. They are foreshadowing it to hell. And speaking of foreshadowing, Infold sprinkled so many hints in this card. One of the strongest ones is when MC asked him about what happened after he left the Interstellar Arena. And he says,
I learned how to pass the time in the dark.
Infold writers, what are you cooking? They make it sound like he was alone in the dark for a long time, and this line is really concerning. And this is just one of several little foreshadowing flags they slipped in, and we will get more later, so let's keep going. Let's talk about the dance scene. First of all, that goddamn song. Look, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, I fucking hate it. Unfortunately, for some reason, it's been stuck in my head for the last couple of days. You know that Akira meme?
Leave me alone! Bow down to the boss!
That's how I feel every time that song plays in my head. I keep catching myself singing it against my will, and I'm offended by my own brain. But Sylus' choreo? Oh, I eat that shit up. I don't care what none of you say. I see it getting so much hate online. I think it suits him, and I love his dance with MC as well. It suits them so well. And the kiss scene? Listen, that push and pull that MC and Sylus always have, that fight for dominance and that constant switching of who's taking charge, that shit is my Roman Empire. I love that so much. And the ending of this card is just peak Sylus. There is nothing more him than watching a sunrise with a side of sabotage. They're not just watching the sunrise, they're literally watching his enemies launch a surveillance satellite and having the peak angle to witness it blow the fuck up. And on top of that, he delivers some of the sweetest lines ever.
Didn't you say you wanted to get some sun in Lincoln? If the sun didn't show up, I'd have to make you a new one myself.
But sweetness aside, he also drops another little grenade that might be a major foreshadowing. So here, MC is joking about him turning Lincoln into another N109 zone, and he responds with,
I have bigger goals than that.
And he doesn't elaborate, even when she tries to ask more. Excuse me? Bigger than Lincoln? What are these goals? What the fuck are you cooking? I love it when the writers make the characters say shit like these because it gets me excited about future story updates, but fuck, that is making me impatient. Anyway, this card is my favorite. The lore, the hints, the foreshadowing, I can just smell the setup for something huge in his story arc. The only thing I hated was that goddamn song. Everything else, immaculate. And last but not least, Caleb. Oh my god, Caleb's card? If I have to describe it in a few words, it would be sexual tension, because there is absolutely no shortage of sexual tension throughout this card. This card is not lore heavy. This one is about their relationship. The very fragile, very spicy, very tense step they're taking towards actually being together. Unlike the other cards, I couldn't just sit back and relax while reading this one. I was stressed and I was sweating. I swear, I felt like a weird third wheel reading it because the unspoken tension between these two was insane. So the setup is similar to the other cards. Polar Night, 2-week vacation, and MC decides to spend it in Skyhaven with Caleb. And like the other cards, the magnetic fluctuations are supposed to affect people with Unhausen class evol, which is MC, which is exactly why he wants her close. He wants to take care of her and make sure that she's okay during the Polar Night. But plot twist, the one who ends up not feeling well is not MC, it's Caleb. So they call the fleet's doctor to find out what's going on with Caleb because he was burning up. He was having a mild fever. And the doctor was like, yeah, it's because of the magnetic fields. Yeah, that's the only thing that's causing it. And when I read that the first time, and because of how Caleb was acting, I already knew something was up. I knew he was keeping secrets from MC, again, as usual. I was expecting some freaking dark, sad secret we're gonna uncover because it's Caleb, right? I was expecting it to be angsty because it's Caleb. Fortunately, it wasn't anything sad or angsty, and this is not directly mentioned in the card, and this is just purely speculation from me, but I think the reason why he's burning up is because of his touring chip and the Polar Night. I say this because the only other instance when he's kind of burning up when he's not sick is in Homecoming Wings. From here, we know that the chip reacts to strong emotions and tries to reset him. He literally got a fever before it attempted a reset, so this could be a mild version of that. And the reason why the chip is acting up is because, I think this is obvious, he's bricked up. He's experiencing sexual desires, which normally probably doesn't cause any type of reaction, but because of the Polar Night, it's making his touring chip do weird shit. Or I could be completely wrong and he could just be extremely horny. Either way, touring chip acting up or just plain old horny, the fact that he's feeling those urges toward MC is the secret he's hiding from her. And speaking of secrets, in this card, we learn that not all of Caleb's secrets are tragic or heavy. Because through a random run-in with his old high school friend, we find out he used to perform at a rock and roll club, and he was stupidly good at it. So good that the club literally doubled their recruitment after he performed, because of course it did. It's Caleb, the heartthrob, the charisma demon. He's always been the type who's reliable and confident to a fault, so of course he said yes to helping his friend out and performed at the restaurant. And naturally, he killed it. The man is good at everything and he knows it. And honestly, I think he loves showing that side of himself in front of MC. And the dance scene, hands down the best choreo of the whole banner. He looks so good doing it, like way too natural, way too smooth. Look, everyone's choreography is great, but Caleb looks the best. I'm sorry, Sylus, Rafayel, and everyone else. I love all of you, but Caleb absolutely takes the crown for this one. He looks too damn good. And you know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of this card, the sexual tension and the awkwardness between MC and Caleb was kind of pissing me off a little bit. Like, why are you two acting as if you haven't already crossed the line and established that you both want each other? We've been over this. They literally defined their new roles in each other's lives in the wedding card. So watching them suddenly get shy and awkward again feels like we're backtracking a little, but I get it. I understand. This is still very early into their actual relationship. They both know they want more, but they're terrified of damaging what they already have. Unfortunately, I am impatient, okay? I'm over here ripping my hair out, like, please, for the love of God, can you two do something about this tension? This has been going on for way too long, and I'm simply not built for slow burn. I like it when things are loud and clear, not whispered and implied. So watching them circle each other like this was driving me a little bit insane. So when the kiss scene finally hits and they both absolutely lose it, not only was it extremely hot, but it was relief. It was cathartic. I felt like the world is healing. Like, yes, do something about this tension. Honestly, that was hands down the best kissing scene out of all the love interests for this banner. It was so hot, especially when he said this.
Can I mess you up a little more, please?
I had to pause and take a walk because that was the hottest thing ever. In the ending of the card, this is where everything finally clicks. All that awkward tension between them is finally being addressed when he talks about the glass maze. This whole card is basically them circling each other emotionally. None of them are denying their feelings. That's not the issue. The issue is that they're terrified of what crossing that line actually means for their relationship. And the writers give us the perfect metaphor for that. The maze made of glass. That metaphor is so good because it's exactly how their relationship feels right now. It's not confusion, it's not denial, it's two people who can see everything clearly. They see every emotion, every want, every line they've already technically crossed, but seeing it doesn't mean they know how to step into it. And it's so satisfying to see them finally acknowledge, not just with words, but also with the way they act, that they want the same thing. They are on the same path. They're just awkward as hell about navigating it. And that is the emotional payoff of this whole card. Not heavy lore or the plot details. It's that point of no return shift where both of them silently go, okay, we're doing this together. We're going to the maze knowing full well what we're getting into. The tension stops being this unspoken cloud and becomes something intentional. And I pray the awkwardness ends here because my heart cannot take it. As cute as it is, watching two people who clearly know they want each other fumble around like confused baby deer makes me want to grab them both by the shoulder and shake them. But overall, I really enjoyed this card. It was adorable. It made my heart race, and that emotional payoff in the end was absolutely worth it. And hopefully, this is the last time we're gonna see MC and Caleb sleep in separate rooms. Hopefully next time when Caleb comes over to Lincoln, he won't sleep on the couch anymore. And yeah, guys, I really enjoyed this banner. I enjoyed it a lot. Honestly, they could have taken out the whole idol dance concept and it would still slap, but the fact that it's there just makes it even more fun. It's basically fan service and I'm here for it. And I can't wait to see what they're gonna do for the next multi-banner. Anyways, that's it guys. Please leave a like if you want and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content. My next video is gonna be a Q&A. I figured since it's almost been a year since I started this channel, I never really talked to you guys like properly. I made a community post for questions, so if you want to ask me anything, drop it in the comments and I will pick a bunch to answer. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the Q&A. Bye!